Get over here!
If I were to describe the Mortal Kombat 2 movie in one sentence, I would say it's someone at Warner Brothers' sarcastic reaction to fan criticism. You see, back in 2019, when they made the first Mortal Kombat movie in this series, like with any other video game adaptation for some reason, the powers that be thought, oh yeah, let's just take this thing that people already love and wait for it, change it. We're Hollywood movie people. We know better than these plebs. We'll expand the story here, explain X, Y, and Z, even if nobody asked us to there. Add this thing we like here, and absolutely ignore this thing they already like here, and it'll be great. Please continue to pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars because I clearly am a smart person. Predictably, when we who already love this IP go to see it in 2021, and we all said the same thing, why are you doing all this extra shit? You presumably bought this property because it's popular. Get out of your own way. Show us the characters we all know and love, fighting in bloody death matches with cool powers and different themed arenas and unique finishers. Simple. We'll literally give you all the money. And that same Hollywood person was like, oh really? You want a movie just like the one in 1995? Ha! Okay. Here you go. Look, we'll kill off the main character we made. How's this? Well, we've added a quasi-tournament format. Do you like that? Then proceeds to throw their hands up in frustration when we all collectively say, yes. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? I'm JB, your mainstream millennial, and I like to talk about movies.
It's kind of my thing, you know.
Particularly from the 1980s to early 2000s, and how new movies relate to us now, how they stack up, and how they could be better. What qualifications do I have? Absolutely none. I'm just a guy in his 30s, and like a lot of kids that grew up in the 1990s, Mortal Kombat's my favorite fighting game. I've seen the 1995 Mortal Kombat dozens of times, and my wife and I dance around the house to the original soundtrack theme they made for it at least monthly when we need to hype ourselves up for doing chores. How could you not get hyped to this? I may or may not have named a child after this franchise, and I have no regrets. So, is it better than the 1995 movie? Nope. Thanks for watching. But for real, that's okay. It was always going to be hard to top the arguably the best video game adaptation ever made. And that's even before you factor in nostalgia. And let me tell you, I walk around proudly with rose-tinted lenses for movies from my childhood every day. What's more important is that it's entertaining. I don't actively regret having spent my time watching it, and it introduces the universe to a new generation that otherwise might not have any clue. In that respect, this movie accomplishes those goals, and I'd comfortably give it a 7 out of 10. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you watch it. You won't regret it. Spoilers ahead. So now, obviously, the 1995 movie deserved its own video, but the 2021 version is a giant waste of time compared to this one. To summarize it, though, it's kind of necessary to include the previous one. Don't worry, it's really easy. There's a deadly tournament surprisingly not included in the movie, called Mortal Kombat, where a realm's greatest warriors fight usually to the death. If one realm loses 10 matches to the other one, the realm is consumed by the victor. The bad guys, Outworld, have run up the score 9-0 on Earthrealm, and it's time for the 10th tournament. Raiden, the lightning god, Earthrealm's protector, needs 5 of the best warriors for the job, and for some reason, the movie's main character, a failed MMA fighter no one's ever heard of named Cole Young, fits the bill. I bet Raiden was a career politician in a previous life, with the way he can just apparently perform as badly as he wants and never lose his position. Anyway, Cole's transported to Raiden's temple to train with the characters we actually know from the games, but there's a problem. The dudes they have to fight all have superpowers, and Cole, Sonya Blade, Jax, and Kano do not. Never fear, though. Everyone's favorite Shaolin monks, Kung Lao and Liu Kang, do at least. You could easily hand-wave this away and just be like, oh, they were born with special abilities for said tournament or mechanical augmentations to help them, and get down to business like the games do. That would be too easy. The Good Idea Fairy told the producers, no, that's dumb. Let's give them all these birthmarks that signify their inclusion in the tournament. Make them train really hard with no set goals until we arbitrarily decide they've done enough to spontaneously shoot lasers from their eyes or sprout magical metal suits. I'm not kidding. My favorite one was Jax, because he gets his arms blown off at the start of the movie trying to save Cole from Sub-Zero, who has ice powers, and they literally build him these skinny, clothes hanger looking things for replacements, and his powers being unlocked just turned them into big, strong metal arms when they could have just gave him the Tony Stark treatment from the start, but character arc or whatever, I guess, right? Outworld's strategy is to kill the Earth Champions before the tournament starts, so Shang Tsung, the evil sorcerer, eventually infiltrates Raiden's temple with his C-list character selection goons, and with the help of the traitorous Kano, who decides to fight with them instead. Finally, there's combat as the Earth Realmers each square off against a bad guy, and in turn conveniently unlock their latent abilities and eventually kill the Outworlds with the exception of Shang Tsung, who fucks off back to Outworld after sucking the soul out of Kung Lao.
Swallow just about as much as I can take from you!
Hey, phrase it!
The only other really relevant thing outside of all that is since Kano betrays Earthrealm, when he is killed by Sonya, she gets to take his place, but with the death of Kung Lao, they need one more person for their team. And they tease a movie poster of Johnny Cage, who obviously should have been used in place of the made-up Cole Young, which is pretty much the defining thesis of Mortal Kombat 2.
That's about it.
So, how would I describe this movie? Set up for the next one. Don't get me wrong, when something does happen, it's fine. The actor playing Kano is just a walking bogan stereotype and has a lot of fun in the role, so much so they brought him back for the sequel. Liu Kang, Kung Lao, they're standouts, as their powers are present from the start, and their movesets are translated really well into their respective fights. They both pull off beautiful fatalities that would make any game fans happy, and otherwise, it should have probably been like 30 minutes shorter and accomplished the same things faster while being more focused on combat. I give it like 5 out of 10 stars. Mortal Kombat 2 starts with a readout of the rules of the tournament and shows the realm of Edenia losing its 10th tournament to Outworld, led by the evil warlord Shao Kahn. He looks great. 10 out of 10, big scary guy with a warhammer. Princess Kitana and Queen Sindel are claimed by Shao Kahn, who takes over after killing the king. This will be important later to the subversion. In the present, we see a sad Johnny Cage hanging out at a convention reliving his glory days by selling merch and watching old school Jean-Claude Van Damme style clips from once popular movies. Fun fact, character of Johnny Cage was inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Drop your favorite JCVD movies below. Raiden and Sonya follow him into a parking garage and they try to convince him to come with them, which he does after Raiden force lightnings a portal open to a much better looking temple this time. Inconsistency. Johnny goes through, learns about the tournament, and then immediately turns around and goes back to being a D-list celebrity because he correctly assesses he's not cut out to fight people with superpowers. While I agree, why do movies and TV shows nowadays insist on doing this? Why must we double back constantly to get to the same conclusion? Why? We know who Johnny Cage is. You banked on that. That's why he was teased at the end of the last movie. We know he's going to fight. But even if I didn't know, I get it. He's a washed-up actor from old action movies. You've already shown this. You don't have to make him tell me, walk away from the tournament, and show me again for 10 more minutes that he doubts himself. Have some faith in your product and the audience, for Christ's sake. I hate this. But luckily, he doesn't have a choice to come back. Since he's been marked by the tournament to participate, he gets teleported to the arena to fight Kitana anyways, and the tournament begins. He spends the next 5 minutes doing the whole slapstick thing, dodging, yelling, "Whoa!" before he finally loses. I did like the inclusion that he sways back and forth while she decides to spare him before passing out like they do in the games. Brownie points for that. So while Johnny loses, Sonya beats a mind-controlled Sindel, which I actually didn't get to see because my toddler needed to pee, and it was so short we missed it. That's my wife how it was. She was like, it was boring. All she did was scream at her over and over again, which I laughed at due to how accurately she just described any Sindel fight ever. Anyway, they're 1-1 after the first round, and it's revealed that Kitana is actually a double agent working for Raiden, sabotage the tournament for Outworld. Because Shao Kahn apparently went to the George W. Bush School of Hearts and Minds, where they don't teach you that an occupied population will always hate you and undermine you.
No way.
Meanwhile, in Outworld, Shao Kahn has Shang Tsung and the Necromancer Quan Chi resurrect Kano and Kung Lao. Turns out Kano is still the amulet that Shinnok from the games when he arrived at Raiden's temple in the last movie, which they did show, and I recognize what it was, but it's never referenced other than one moment when Liu Kang tells him to put it back for comedic relief. So I just kind of thought it was another one of those pointless scenes in that too long of a movie. Kudos for that, I guess. Anyway, Shang Tsung and crew attack Raiden's temple, slit his throat in the scuffle, and absorb most of his life force into the amulet, then return to Shao Kahn to give it to him, which makes him immortal. The next round is Liu Kang versus Kung Lao, Jax versus Kitana's bodyguard Jade, and everyone's favorite character, Cole, versus Shao Kahn. Liu Kang and Kung Lao are standouts again. Their fight is without a doubt the best choreography-wise in the movie, and Liu kills him with his own hatsaw. I would have preferred him using his own fatality, but it was close. It is what it is, okay?
We were this close.
My boy Jax beats down Jade doing his best 2009 Chris Brown impression, but he spares her out of respect for Kitana sparing Johnny, which I fundamentally disagree with. He knows at this point that Kitana is a double agent, so it's not really the same as sparing someone out of the kindness of your heart. If he hadn't, she wouldn't get the chance to fuck him over later. What have we learned, kids?
Let me tell you something. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all! Yeah!
Our boy Cole squares off against Shao Kahn and gives him his best anime speech of believing in yourself and the importance of fighting for others before failing to kill him since he's immortal now and getting his head smashed by Kahn's hammer. Damn! Anyways, Rip Bozo. Since Cole is dead and Raiden is out of action, our remaining heroes decide they need to steal the amulet. They get teleported to Outworld to meet the Tarkatans, cannibalistic slaves led by none other than the best representative of British dental health, Baraka. Johnny gets to fight Baraka and win, which is a nice change of pace for his character, but the fight doesn't have an exciting ending, which is a missed opportunity that keeps happening in this movie. Even compared to the last one, there's almost no finishers used in these fights. If you didn't want to kill everybody, you can do that, but make it flashier than just normal kicking and punching. In the games, the only things that really kill you are fatalities and brutalities, so the characters often get beaten to a pulp in these gnarly combo sessions, with the blood flying and the bones breaking, the whole nine. And then they stand up like nothing happened to them. I know that's not realistic per se, but no shit, this is Mortal Kombat. Commit to the bit. There's no reason for any single match to end in a vanilla knockout like it's some street fight. Plus, and then in the movie, there's going to be a pretty good reason why they shouldn't really care about who they brutalize and who they don't. But
We get there when we get there.
Katana gets captured because she's an idiot that keeps teleporting in and out of Outworld from the same spot, even though she already knows Jade is onto her. Johnny, Jax, Sonya, and Liu Kang get caught sneaking into the palace, and Jax gets killed by Shao Kahn in the ensuing fight, while Sonya and Liu get transported to the next round of the tournament. Johnny gets rescued by Kano, who attempts to take him to Raiden's temple. Kano tells him the amulet's being guarded by Sub-Zero's resurrected shade in the Netherrealm, which I guess they don't call Noob Sabo because they might confuse normies, even though that's who it is. Raiden teleports them there to retrieve it with the help of the goat, Scorpion, who's killed Sub-Zero for them in the first movie. I didn't include their overarching subplot in the first movie earlier because while the fights they have are awesome, the made-up story that's around it is awful. So, Scorpion and Noob Sabo is really entertaining, and I also know most people say Cybot, but shout out to the tankers who enjoy me saying Sabo. I know you're out there. Scorpion cuts the Shade version in half in a gorgeous fatality, and then with help from Scorpion, Kano, and Jade, who showed up at some point, I guess, because she feels bad, and Johnny finally unlocking his powers, they're able to destroy the amulet together. Meanwhile, back in the tournament, they're tied 3-3 since Jax died, and Shao Kahn fights Liu Kang and Sonya while Katana is chained up in the arena watching. Shao Kahn kills Liu Kang, who has an unnecessary epiphany, like, oh, I'm not the chosen one, even though he's had maybe like 10 minutes of screen time total in both movies, and randomly evaporates, saying he's going to resurrect the fallen. Sonya frees Katana but gets knocked out by Shao Kahn and the tournament ends, except he conveniently forgets, I guess, that Katana isn't on his side and she formally declares herself a combatant from Earthrealm. Firstly, somebody needs to look at the rulebook for this tournament because I feel like it's kind of too late to do this. Secondly, this is the subversion. If you go by the marketing for this movie, the wiki, whatever, by all accounts, Johnny Cage is the main character of the movie. He's not, though. He's really only had one fight, and if he's had more speaking parts than the rest of the cast, it's not by much. The whole movie has really revolved around Katana. She watched her dad die. She's been going back and forth with the spy for Raiden. She gets the last fight against the big bad. Why? Why the dishonesty? Why the bait and switch?
Why?
This is what I meant at the beginning about it being a sarcastic reaction to feedback. They heard all of our complaints, realized it would be better received if they included Johnny Cage and focused on him in the marketing, but to be spiteful and maintain their position that they know better, they sidelined him and put the spotlight back on Katana, who they actually made this story for. They banked on our goodwill with the appearance that they were listening, only to flip us the bird, and it's really unnecessary because they know the better story would have been Johnny. They've as good as admitted it when they killed Cole. But they're so bitter and don't want the Chuds to win so badly, they'd rather cut their nose off to spite their face and make Katana the de facto star. But don't worry, they didn't come out and say that, so it doesn't count somehow. We gave you what you want, so eat it. God, these people suck. Anyways, after a fight with absolutely no stakes, because even Helen Keller would know where this is going to go, the amulet being destroyed gives Raiden back his powers, and Katana beats the now mortal Shao Kahn to win the tournament. Wow, what epic storytelling, right? Anyway, she becomes the ruler of the reclaimed Edenia, and before the credits roll, it's revealed that Quan Chi has been captured, and the Earthrealmers promise to resurrect everybody that died. See? You were going to bring them back anyways, just like the games do, so why hold back? Kill everybody! Show off your effects with fatalities and brutalities. There's no reason not to. That's Mortal Kombat 2. It's definitely better than 2021. It includes the tournament and doesn't make you wait long to get into a fight. However, it's still like 10 to 20 minutes too long. A movie being 2 hours doesn't make it better. It used to be commonplace to have good movies that can get in and out between an hour and a half and an hour and 45 minutes. It'd actually be easier to do. So we need to get back to that. Let me know what you thought. If you agree, disagree, all that jazz in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.